Welcome to Court Conversations with myself and Cam Fleming. We got a special guest here from DePaul University. Haley, how is it going and how is it popping?
It's good. Just chilling, trying to finish up these last few weeks of school and head into spring break on a good note.
So, Cam, tell us a little bit about how you know Haley Walker here.
Uh, well, I'm gonna tell this story. Haley probably don't even know this story, but I'll tell it anyway. So she played at La Lu with my daughter, and that's how we originally met. I remember Haley. Do you remember us going to Notre Dame
Oh yeah, I
and
do.
playing against them?
Yeah,
And when I seen her play against those collegiate players at that level, I mean, she fit right in. It was like I was looking at whoever I was sitting next to. I think it was Dr. Radican at the time, and I'm like, man, this kid can play. Like this kid can play at this level for sure. Um, but it's funny because remember we went to Portage, Valpo at the Northwest Indiana courts,
hmm
and we went out there. I took well, three of us, I think it was. We went
yeah.
out there and played, and just to get them a good run, and get them out the dorms a little bit. And we went over there and played some pickup against some local Northwest Indiana high school players. And man, Haley just it was just way too easy. She ripped through him, man. I'm talking about snagging the board, the ball off the rim, man, and just running. Her and Mary McClinton uh, it was just head over shoulders over these guys, man. And at the end, one of the coaches came up to me, was like, "Hey, Cam, don't bring them back no more." They was just out there, man, too much, man. But it was just fun to see how talented those kids was, and it was just amazing. And that's kind of how our relationship started, man. So how's been things been going for you this year?
It was good. Our coach took a leave of absence due to like medical reasons, so our assistant coach
Really?
had to step in and coach the entire season. But like with that being said, like we did a really good job this year. I thought. I mean, like not having our head coach there. I mean, we finished sixth in the conference. We were projected to go 10th, and you know I think we did well with the things that we had and when we were the cards that we were dealt with. I mean, our season unexpectedly ended first round in with the conference play, but I mean, I'm confident that next year we will give people definitely a run for their money.
Right, that's cool. Coach Bruno, how long has he been there?
Whew, he's been there for a while. I mean, he
Man,
went
probably
to
longer than we've been
DePaul.
alive.
Yeah, literally, he went to DePaul. I know he got married at DePaul. Like he spent all his. He was the AD at some point there. I mean, he coached under whoever was the coach there back when he was playing after he graduated. Like he's been there for a minute.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I didn't realize he had took a leave of absence. To be honest, man, I've been so busy with coaching our program and AAU that I really didn't watch too much women's basketball or men's or NBA, to tell you the truth. So I didn't realize that. That's pretty remarkable not to have coach there and still come out on six in that conference. Tell us a little bit how you got started in the game.
I mean, so I have a twin brother, and he really got me into playing basketball. Honestly, like I really didn't care for the sport much. I just kind of wanted to do what he wanted to do. So I grew up playing with the guys all my life. Like I didn't start playing with like girls until like going into high school, like playing on the girls AAU team, and then from there, like I got picked up by like a New York AAU team, and then we like traveled around the country doing like the showcases and stuff like that. So, I mean, that's like pretty much how I got into it. And then obviously it took me to places like Lalu with like prep schools and stuff. And then eventually to Paul.
Cool. Um, being being playing with the boys. Explain a little bit how that gave you an advantage when it came to when you finally did step over there and started playing with girls your age?
I mean, I was a lot more physical with the guys. I mean, you have to be being a girl. No guy likes a girl like showing them up in front of their parents. At a younger age too. So definitely when I switched over to like with girls, like I was so used to like the fast pace and aggressiveness of like playing with guys that it kind of like made it easier to transition back with the girls.
Right. Definitely, definitely was aggressive. And Josh, when I tell, when I say, man, the kid, when I seen this kid jump, I was like, I have never seen a girl jump vertical like that until I seen Haley. It was like, not right in front of me. It was kind of like, be honest, it was kind of weird and freakish. Like this is not normal. Like this is not normal, Haley. You shouldn't be jumping like this. And I also I remember the girls were saying they was in the weight room and they was like, yeah, man, Haley's running the workouts. Man, she's killing us.
Yeah.
She's killing us, man. She's not only athletic, but she's jacked. She's really, really, really good with her workouts and everything. I can contest to that for sure. Um, Josh, what you think?
Yeah. So what was it like your freshman year at DePaul? That
So
transition.
my freshman year, I tore my ACL actually. So I mean, initially in the summer, it was like a tough transition. Like I've never like you went from being like top dog to now you're at the bottom of the pole. So it was like a hard transition at first, but as soon as like the summer, um, just like the style of play, like how fast it is, and the girls are strong too. Like definitely going into the Paul, like working out the way I was working out, definitely helped me a bunch. But yeah, then I tore my ACL, so I was out for a year. But being on the sideline, I did learn a lot. Just like it's like a different way of like learning too. Like you can learn on the court, but like learning off the court is like valuable as well. So I learned different like techniques of the offense and stuff like that. So it was a tough freshman year because like I was so excited to play, and then I was out for the rest of the year.
Right. Explain a little bit how that was on your mental coming from like you said, top dog to being at the bottom, being eager, and then tearing your ACL and being out. How did you handle that mentally?
I mean, I felt like I was defeated at first. When I first came in here, I was just like, I felt like I didn't belong here. Not just like on the court. Like I'm like, am I good enough really? Because like, you know, it was so challenging playing against these girls. I mean, half our team was older too, and so I'm 18 years old playing against girls who are 22, 23. Especially with the fifth year rule, everybody's older, but it made me like want to work harder too. So me and the other freshmen that year, would get in the gym and shoot and just like try and work on my game. And by the time like the summer was over, everybody like was up to like par. I mean, we did like a conditioning test, and like all the freshmen were like the most fit because like we dusted everybody in like conditioning. And then I like felt better about myself, and then tearing my ACL like I like put me back to square one. I was like, geez, like I felt like I was over that hump, and I got like put right back. But yeah, coming back from the injury was tough too. I mean, it took a lot longer because like the school does want us to be like prepared and ready to come back. And even then, like I missed the whole summer going into my sophomore year too because I was still out with my injury. So I felt like my sophomore year I was still like a few steps behind people, and I didn't really feel back to myself until this year and like playing this year. And there's still some like kinks I gotta get out of my game, but like I feel like the old Haley I was.
Yeah, scary then.
Yeah, no, I feel next year is definitely be a scary year for sure.
That's good, man. I'm excited for you. I can't wait. Um, talk a little bit about um I'm looking at your stats, right? And understanding that you're coming off an injury, you redshirted your freshman year. So you're a redshirt sophomore, right?
Hmm.
Right. So let's back up a little bit. You get back on the court, you get fully back. Now, how did you deal with the competing part where trying to earn that spot?
Yeah, it was hard. So like the first few games of the season, like upway into like halfway through conference play, I want to say like I was like it was like hit or miss. Some games I would get some minutes, some games I wouldn't, and it was like I feel like it was all about like trying to find my spot and the role in the team. Um, the coaches loved my rebounding. I was like the second person leading the team as a 5'8" guard. You know what I mean? Like that's crazy. And I was top 20 in the Big East with rebounds as well. So once the coaches like saw the way I could rebound and like help the team out, I feel like that's when I started getting minutes. And I feel like the offensive piece came towards the end of the year. Um, I feel like I started like understanding like yeah I can rebound, but I also can contribute offensively. So I started like cutting and stuff like that. That's how I usually got myself open and driving occasionally from the pinch post.
That's good. That's really good. I think a lot of kids need to hear this because I think two main things that you stated that most kids don't understand when they're in high school, especially if you're a star, right? Transitioning to power five, power four school is really tough. You got to find your way, and you found how to star in a role, right? Got on the court not by scoring, got on the court by rebounding. You found out, hey, a lot of this offense ain't gonna be called for me. I gotta find ways to score and how to make myself available. So you started learning how to cut and getting open on off the ball than you used to having the ball. I think that's a lot of things that we don't teach sometimes, and we forget about how important that is. And that's really good to hear that you were able to adapt and transition from being an on-ball person, being a star, and being like, well, I think at one time you were what, ranked number 16th in the country,
Yeah,
somewhere
for my
around there.
position. Yeah,
Yeah. So you were like coveted at one point to all the way at the bottom, fighting through injuries, fighting to get you back on the team and finding your role. And it's just a testament of your will and determination and your work. You always had the work ethic. That was never in question. You was a straight grinder. And that's good, man. I'm glad to see that you were able to find that success on the floor.
yeah, for sure. You know, like a coach told me when I was like younger, like 95% of the game is played without the ball. So like what you're doing with
Absolutely.
that, and so if we can like get our players to understand that, like we have when we move the ball and move, we have great possessions, but there's possessions when we have stagnant offense. And I think, this year we're really going to work on that and just trying to get all those moving parts working because it's going to be hard to guard all of us if we're all moving. You know what I mean?
Right, correct. Josh?
Yeah. So what was one like team other than Creighton and UConn in your guys' conference that was kind of like one of the toughest and also most rewarding games this year?
Well, I gotta say St. John's at St. John's. They were a good team. Like last year, they were a great team, phenomenal team, and they were in the top part of like the state rankings or the standings. Excuse me. I think they were ranked at one point last year too, and they were good. So this year we came in there and we were down. Like I want to say, like after the half, we were down at least like 10 to 14 points, and you know we could have the mindset where we're like, oh, this is it, the game's over, but we didn't. And I remember, I think one of our players was in foul trouble. Like I was in and out of the game there. I was playing a few minutes, and it was for the second half. We like kind of went on a run, and it just like took a whole team. Like the whole team had this grittiness and this tenacity, and we ended up winning the game. But it was a bloodbath, and it was probably one of the most rewarding games we ever played. It kind of like set the tone for the season.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So what's the training like at DePaul?
So right now we have like a few weeks off. I know there's like some sort of rule with NCAA, but So I'm personally just getting in the gym and doing like workouts, working on stuff that I need to work on. But in season, so we actually have 6 weeks off between Thanksgiving and Christmas. So that's when we just like play basketball, don't really worry about school for real. And we, have games, practice, and games. And in season, we typically like go over our plays, go over the offenses. And we actually like this year we got up like, quite a bit. Like we played 5-on-5 a lot, worked on like transition defense, and then some drills like post breakdown and stuff like that. But did a lot of time, playing like 5-on-5, 4-on-4, which was like I thought was beneficial because that's the only way we could get better like running offenses instead of just like going 5-on-0. And what I liked about this year, we broke down our offenses and with like certain drills. So we would like run the actions. So getting good at that, perfecting that, and I feel like that helped us execute the offense when we were in the game as well. And then so that was like in season, like out of season, like postseason, we practice like typically 2 to 3 times a week. There's like a certain limit, like there's 8 hours a week that we are allotted towards like basketball. So we lift 2 or 3 times a week, and then we practice with the coaches, and then we have open gyms where we just go up and down for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and then go into preseason. That lasts like all summer from like now until the end of until September when we start 20-hour weeks back up.
That's good. I think a lot of youth we forget about how to teach reads, um, and how to read out of your offense, give them an action. Like I'm starting to learn and really been incorporating conceptual. Give them an action, give them a concept, and out of that concept, play. I think that's the really best way to teach basketball. Um, so that's good that you guys are really, really breaking everything down and getting out playing 4-on-4, 5-5. That 4-on-4, you got to really work because you got to cover that space, right? Um, it's hard playing 4-on-4 on defense, but it makes you
Yeah.
work hard. So that's good. What are some of the things that you're doing, or what I ain't gonna say doing, but what do you feel like you need to really, really hone in on and start locking in on your game?
I feel like dribbling. I was getting more confident with it, more like fluid with it. So I can, like attack downhill instead of just like relying on cutting. And I started to do it like towards the end of the season, and our coach like liked the fact that I was doing that because of how explosive I was, like showing her.
Mhm.
Because like all I really needed was like one dribble and then going to the hoop. So just like working on those and just like getting my 3-point shot down. Because towards the end of the year, um, they started like clogging the paint on us because we were like such a driving team, and only like a few players like really shot the ball from the 3-point line, and like so I feel like working on my 3-point shot just to be a threat from outside as well as inside.
Cool.
Nice. So, what was it like playing against Paige Beckers?
I mean, to be fair, when she played against us, she only had 8 points. But no, the girl is truly talented. You know, it's just like it just looks so effortless with her, and her impact on women's basketball is great. You know, so she's bringing a lot of awareness towards it, as well as Caitlin Clark, and so it was awesome. Our building was packed. We set an attendance record when we played UConn. I mean, it was truly amazing.
Awesome.
Nice. So, got any AU questions for her?
Nah, not really. She's way past AAU. She's focused on more the next level. How do you feel about playing after college? Do you want to play WNBA overseas? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I definitely want to play overseas. I feel like I want to get out of the country, explore, Europe potentially, but you know, I also want to get my life started as well. I do want to be in the medical field, so I'd rather, get a head start on that sooner rather than later. But if I do get the opportunity to play overseas, I will, take a few seasons over there.
Cool, cool, cool. Definitely think you could though, for sure.
Yeah, no, I feel like it'd be cool, just to say like, I did go pro, but
Right.
I definitely want to travel though. That'd be fun.
You wanted to be a doctor, right?
Yeah, I kind of want to like be on more like the front lines, like be a paramedic.
That fits your personality though. It
Yeah,
definitely
no, I
do.
want I want the action.
Right, right. It definitely fits your personality. I'm not surprised at that for real though, because you're you're always like I said, you were always aggressive, always um like took control of the games and really was a leader on the court. I love watching you play, man. When I found out that you tore your ACL, I think I was hurt just because, you know what I mean? I just felt like you would have had a really, really good season and really good career coming off of what I seen in high school. You were definitely a special player, and I was glad that I was able to witness that and watch that firsthand.
Yeah, it was unfortunate, but I think everything happens for a reason. So,
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. Well, it's our last segment. Josh, you can take the last segment and explain it to her.
Okay, so here on Regan's Corner and on Court Conversations, we got a little like segment called Hot Corner. No puns intended there, Haley. As we go into it and we ask about questions about you, get to know you a little bit more. So, okay, we're gonna start it off here. What is your favorite fast food place?
oh, Canes right now. They just built a Canes right down the street from us, and gotta say that's dangerous. All my money's going towards there.
Solid, solid. Cam, what's your first question?
What's your favorite sports movie of all time?
Oh, that's a good question. Um, Space Jam. It's a classic.
That's the first time we heard Space Jam.
Or Love and Basketball.
No, that's a good one too, though. That's the second time. I think Lavis said Space Jam, right?
I think Labus did say Space Jam.
I was thinking about that question today. I said, "What is my favorite sports movie all time?" And I came up with two. I don't have one. I think I got two. The first one is Blue Chip.
Oh,
Yeah.
That was one of my favorites. And then the other one, you probably guys don't even remember this one. The Air Up There.
I
Yeah,
don't think I'm
you gotta
familiar with
check
that.
it out. You gotta check that one out. The Air Up There.
The air
Gotta
up
check it
there.
out.
Okay,
Yep.
I don't even know if I've ever heard of that one.
Yeah, you gotta
I'll
check
check
it
it
out.
out.
You gotta
I'll
check
check
it
it
out.
out. I'll check it out. Okay, so what? Since you said you want to travel, play overseas, what country would you have at the top of your list to play in?
Probably Italy. It's beautiful there. I feel like there's, diverse scenes there as well. There's like the water and then like, the more architectural side. And then the food. Like you can't go wrong with Italian food.
Man, I'm with you when you right, Haley. So Haley, give me your top five male or female basketball players. With five being the lowest and number one is the GOAT.
Oh,
Who's five?
um, dang. Might put Shaq at 5.
Okay. Who's four?
Mm, probably Larry Bird.
Okay. Who's three?
Kobe.
Man, I'm with you when you right. Who's two?
LeBron James. Mike's the GOAT, man. Michael Jordan
Oh
is the
man,
GOAT.
I was with you all the way till you said LeBron was number two, man.
Is that a hot take? I'm in Chicago, so I gotta say Mike's the GOAT.
Mike is the GOAT. Mike is the GOAT. I gotta put Mike. For me, my top is Mike. 2 is Kobe for me. Then LeBron.
Actually, no, I'm gonna switch it. I'm gonna switch it. Kobe's definitely too. His mentality, LeBron doesn't got Kobe's mentality.
No,
Kobe's a
absolutely not.
different person.
Yeah, he is. He is.
Absolutely. So, taking off a little bit of that question, if you had a tournament or a game to save the universe, okay, a 3-on-3, who are you playing against the Monstars? Okay,
Oh,
with
I'm taking Curry. We need a sharpshooter, and then I'm gonna pick Dame. Dame's clutch in those situations for sure.
Dame Dollar.
I'm telling you. And then I need one more.
yeah, one more.
I might go Jokic. That man's cold.
Okay.
Slow as molasses.
Yeah, that's true. But you just need a big guy inside, pick up the
Right.
boards.
That's a point center though, man.
Yeah, he's different
Tough.
too.
Yeah, he might be the face of the NBA, to be honest.
Yeah. And as you know, coming off the bench, I need Anthony Edwards.
Okay. That's a good one.
Okay.
That's a good one.
That's a solid list there. Solid list. Okay. So, for any high schooler who's in the recruitment process, what advice would you have them?
I would just say take everything in, take all your visits, really sit with them, think about them, discuss them with your coaches' families. But ultimately, the decision is yours. Don't let people influence where you should go, and also go where you feel love. The reason why I went to DePaul, I felt like I saw a family there. With the coaching staffs, I immediately felt a connection with them. I well taken care of here. The coaches truly care about us. They don't overstep their boundaries with any sort of like personal stuff, but like if I need to go and talk to them about it, they will definitely sit there and listen. If I ever need anything, they're probably the first people I'd call to get that taken care of. So definitely going where you feel at home and where people will take care of you is the biggest advice I can give somebody.
Okay. Solid. Cam, you got any questions left or?
Nah, just thank you for taking this time out to be on this podcast. It's great to see you. I'm glad that you're healthy. I'm glad that you're doing well. I'm really looking forward to seeing you play the next season. And I already know you're going to do good, whatever it is, man. You just got that dog mentality. And I'm just proud of you. And just keep working, Haley.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. Thank you for coming on, and you're welcome to any of our podcasts anytime. Just send us a DM or send Cam or myself a text, and we'll go from there.
All right, for sure.
All right. Thanks, Haley. Take care.